See if we could make something happen. I'm still muted. Oh my God. All right. Let me see. Man, I can't stand this OBS, man. I'm telling you. What about now? Let's try this. See. Can you hear me now? Let's see if I turn this mic up. What about that? Can you hear me now? Okay. All right, man. So I've been talking about this whole situation with the break girl stuff, and basically how, um, I gotta do something like a reverb. Hold on. What about now? Any reverb? Trying to get everything right with this mixer. What about now? Yeah, I don't know. So, let me know if I still got some reverb in here. What about now? Okay, is that better? All right. Well, anyway, I've been talking about. All right, cool. All right, so I've been talking about this situation with Rhoda Bashir, and she's been in the news heavy with this, with the GoFundmes and the whole niggas ain't ish, ninjas ain't ish trope, and she got a lot of money. You know, the problem is that social media investigators did a really good job of uncovering some stuff that the general public hadn't seen, and it's looking like this is pretty much a scam. So, that being said, it was easy for her to do because you got a lot of people that believe ninjas ain't ish. So, like I was saying before, others have made a bag off of it. Oprah Winfrey being the most notable, Derek Jackson being the most recent and most infamous. And the thing is that why why is this so salacious um, to a certain group of people when you have other groups that commit crimes as well? And I'm not here to say, I'm not here to argue stats. What I am here to say is that all groups in the U.S. have a propensity to have all groups have a element that have a propensity to commit crime. You know, but the ninjas ain't ish trope is fueling really a lot of the gender war among Black Americans. So, you know, um, why do you think that is? You know, why do you think that is? As I said before, I think it's a good way to. Um, I think Black American men are an easy target. I think it's an easy way to escape accountability. I think it is an easy way to. It almost rolls off the tongue. You know, I mean, if there is such thing, it's easy to roll off the tongue. Oh, I don't know, man. She made a lot of money. She did. She made a lot of money, bro. She made a lot of money. And hey, it is what it is, you know. And she's not the first. She won't be the last. But right now, she's the most infamous, you know. And I think it was. I think with her situation, it was the easiest to find out that it was a scam, you know. Um, that being said, it was easy for her to scam people because you have people that really believe that in their hearts and in their heads, you know. So niggas ain't shit, you know. You know you now to be fair, I mean you know white men are villainized to you know with that Carly Russell girl a couple weeks ago. She made white men the villain, but I don't know if there was a GoFundMe for her where people donated money, but we do know with this Rhoda girl, she had a GoFundMe up and she made a bag. She made a grip. So, hey, you know, I wonder if the sexes were reversed, would a black man make that kind of money? If you guys remember, back in the day, Tommy Sotomayor used to say that black women were the worst stewards of children on earth. And, you know, he had a run on social media. He had a run on YouTube, and they eventually kicked him off, you know, but it was, you know, he's the only one that I can think of that went to those lengths, you know, as opposed to the Cynthia G's, the uh, the Rhodas, the Princellas, the the divested zealots. There's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them. It's a bunch of them on YouTube. It's a bunch of them on TikTok. It's a bunch of them on a lot of different social media platforms. Clubhouse, that's another one. So, so it's definitely it's definitely a moneymaker. You know, on the on the side for the women, saying that you know that the men ain't ish. Now, you're saying Cortez. You're saying that her mom got a lot of money from it. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. You know, and as I was saying before, you know, I used to work in law enforcement. I retired, you know, not too long ago. Retired last year, but during the time I was working, I've had several investigations into, you know, Somalian Americans being involved with scams. You know, money, you know, counterfeit money, you know, um, boosting, um, you know, card cracking, all of that stuff. You know, it was they was putting in that work on the crooked side of the game. They was putting in that work on the scamming side of the game. So, you know, but getting back to this whole ninjas ain't ish. You know, like I said before, Oprah Winfrey made a bag. She's a billionaire because of it. You know, and really, you look at people like Maury Povich, Jenny Jones, Ricky Lake. Uh, what was that Italian? That one Italian woman. A lot of people have come along and made a bag out of it. Tyler Perry, he has it sprinkled into his movies and stuff. You know, so there's definitely a lot of money to be made, um, and people have built careers off of it. So, you know, it is what it is. I think going forward, thanks to Rhoda Bashir or Bashar, whatever her name is, I think going forward, I think more people are going to be wary of just donating money to women that claim that they were harmed by black men and that they need help with their medical bills and different things like that. I think people are going to be a little more wary. Not saying there's going to be a lot of people, but I think incrementally, I think more people will be more wary, more cautious, more skeptical. In some ways, that's good because it's going to make it hard for um, people to run these scams. It's going to make it hard for liars to just blame stuff on on black men or really anybody. Conversely, it's going to make actual female victims is going to make things harder for them to they're going to be scrutinized more. I'm not going to say it's going to make it harder. They're going to be scrutinized more, and I think the idea of blaming the victim, I think that idea is going to die because just because a person says that they're a victim doesn't mean that they are a victim. And I think people are going to look at that more. I think they're going to scrutinize accusations and allegations more closely, which is good. I say always be skeptical, you know, always be skeptical. Always, verify what you're being told. Always investigate. Don't just jump out the window and run with a damsel in distress story. You know, how would it affect female victims going forward? That I don't know. I can't tell you. Yeah, Carlisha Hood. Yeah, Cortez. I seen that too with the Carlisha girl. I seen that. I seen something to that effect too. That her mom was in on the scam. And I'm gonna tell you something. Lots of times, um, mothers and daughters get together and they will plot some stuff. Be it that they're plotting on guys, be it that they're plotting to scam the government out of benefits, be it that they're plotting on another woman. Yeah, you know, that I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised of at all. So, what I will say is she was trying to hide something. Carlisha Hood was trying to hide something, man. You can't tell me that she wasn't. So the question is, what was she trying to hide? When people are when they're interrogated, when they're interviewed, whenever a false statement is detected, it's not the investigator's job to go, "Oh, you lied" or anything. It's their job to isolate the lie and to find out why that lie occurred. What are they trying to hide with the falsehood? So, it is what it is. You from Alabama, Cortez? Yeah, on my on my ADOS FBA side, my family is my family is from Alabama, so I got relatives there. So you know, my other side of the family, they from the Caribbean, man. They from Central America and Caribbean, in the Caribbean. So I'm a mixed pot. So I got a bunch of stuff from me, but I do have some family in over there in Alabama. So okay, Birmingham, that's a historic city. All right, shout out to Birmingham, bro. Shout out to you and shout out to Birmingham. You know, I've never been to Birmingham. I've only been to Monroeville and Mobile. Those are the only places I've been. So, okay, so Hoover's a suburb of Birmingham. Okay, I couldn't even tell you what Birmingham is. I know Birmingham is a historic city. A lot of significant civil rights events happen in and around Birmingham, but I've never been there. You know, my boy G Dizzle, he went to school at Tuskegee, so you know, outside of family I got and stuff, I don't know a whole lot about Alabama. I just know Mobile is 2 hours away from New Orleans. you know, but yeah, man. So if her mom was involved though, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm nothing. I don't. It's kind of hard to surprise me. It's not impossible, but it's hard. I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot, so not a whole lot surprises me, man. So I wouldn't be surprised. Um, wow, they don't talk much about the civil rights history of Birmingham, huh? Wow, that's surprising. That's But then again, I grew up in Chicago, and they don't talk about. There's not a whole lot of talk about the civil rights legacy of Chicago either. So neither. So you know, I can't say that I'm terribly surprised. You know. So yeah, man. But so going forward, it'll be interesting to see when other claims like this pop up, how the social media audience will react. It'll be interesting because this was a lesson to a lot of people. Some people are going to be hardliners. You niggas still ain't shit. It is what it is. And some people, I think, are going to be more cautious and look for more facts, look for more reasons behind statements like that. And then, some people ain't going to care either way. It is what it is, you know. So, anyway, enough about that. I'm wondering what else is going on out there, you know. I'm surprised. Well, not to say that some of the other content creators that I watch from time to time have been talked about it. I'm surprised I haven't really seen anything from people like General Tito and stuff like that, which he probably did cover it because that's really right up his alley. Um, but I've seen some cover it, and others I haven't seen much of anything. So, you know, but it is a hot topic for a lot of people. I don't listen to, you know. So I know. for those of you out there who haven't subscribed to General Tito, go check out his channel, his material. Shout out to General Tito. People like Mediocre Tutorial Reviews, another guy. He was going ham. He was going ham. Check out his channel if you guys aren't subscribed. So, it is what it is. So Cortez, you said you think there'd be a pro-black movement in Birmingham like there is in New York, but nope. Yeah, I see. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about. I don't know hardly anything about Birmingham. I know a lot of places, but I don't know much about Birmingham. Birmingham is one of the places I have not been. You know. Like I said, I know a little bit about Monroeville and Mobile because I got relatives there, but I don't know much about, Birmingham, Montgomery, places like that. I don't know much about those. And yeah, I would imagine, they would have something there. That's a never forget situation, like 9/11, which is a never forget situation. You would think that they would have something in Birmingham to where the people are like never forget. I believe there was a church bombing there, and then a mass shooting recently, a few years ago. So, you know, um, so yeah, I would think they would have something like that, you know. But again, I don't know much about Birmingham, so, but if they did have something like that, it would make sense, you know. You said crime is like Chicago. Shit, I ain't missing nothing going to Birmingham. Then. Yeah, if they got crime like Chicago, yeah, yeah, at Birmingham, I ain't in a hurry to try to get there. Yeah, the church mass shooting. Yeah, you know, I do remember that a few years ago. That was horrific, you know, which is why I'm a Second Amendment guy. You know, knowing my family history on the ADOS FBA side, you know, they dealt with the Seminoles and different things like that, and they had a history of fighting back, you know, and then on my maternal side, those are Garafunas and Maroons. That's all they did. So, you know, and they were pirates too. So they kind of wild on that side, man. My mom's side of the family, them some wild people. Yeah, man, that was a sad event. You know, like I was saying before, I'm a Second Amendment guy. I am one of the people that think every black male in the U.S. That doesn't have a felony conviction should have at least one firearm. Given the history of conflict between um, black men in the U.S. and the U.S. government itself, I think if anybody should be pro Second Amendment, it should be black American men. It don't make sense that so many of them, they they're on that put the guns down. I guess it's because of the young terrorists, little shorty buckshot and them guys, little pistol smoking them. But the best way to defend yourself from people like that is they need to understand they could get shot back. People who commit crimes like that, they don't want to get shot back. Getting shot sucks. You know, I think more guns keep people honest. You know, I'm in Florida and we just recently went constitutional carry, You don't know who got it on them. So I've kind of seen the change in how people talk to each other, you know. So, and I've been coming to Florida since I was a young cat. So I I know enough to know that there's kind of a change in attitude, you know. You say Vest, Vest, um, Vestivia Hills is is a good area, but a sad event, yeah, and that it's actually one of the places with the nicest people. I don't doubt that, man. I don't doubt that. You know, most people are generally nice, and most people just want to go along to get along and to be able to go and live their lives. But all it takes is one clown to cause problems. Now multiply that by 10, 15, 20 clowns, 200 clowns. You know, it's still not the majority, but clowns wreak havoc on the general public. So, you know, and that's another point too. You know, you have you have male crime, you have female crime. Um, for a lot of times, for a long time, male crime largely involved strong arm type stuff like robberies, stuff like that, you know, violent crimes. And female crimes were crimes of trust, you know, finesse crimes, you know, and stuff. I always tell people, you know, women steal. And it's the truth, women steal, you know. They're more likely to steal, you know. Not to say that men don't steal at all, men steal too, is they steal differently. But men and women steal, you know. Every crime you think a man can do, women are capable of it, but it'll be done in a different, more low key way. So, and really, what this Rhoda girl did, it's a crime. You know, she betrayed the public trust. You know, it's a crime. It's a scam. You know, scamming people out of money under the guise of seeking help. You know, so yeah, passive crimes. It's you know, they get the law and they get sympathy on their side. You know, they take advantage of trust. Whereas men, you know, now I think in this day and age, you see more men doing finesse crimes. You know, which, speaking of which, this next crime bill I think is going to address a lot of the scamming, a lot of financial crimes and things like that. A lot of the boosting crimes and stuff like that. You're going to see a lot more of that stuff. So um, I think the next crime bill is going to address that. And speaking of which, with all of this, you know, black men don't protect black men are deleting us, all of this talk, and you have a lot of black women in politics who um, they, you know, they share those sentiments. This next crime bill is going to be it's going to be a heavy hammer on the head of black American men if black American men are not careful. You know, you know, yeah, charity fraud. You know, so yeah, it's a lot of that going on. You know, she really, you know, she really did, you know, took the church finesse and for tithes and did it another way with the building fund. You know, or the what was it, the UNICEF for 30 cents a day you can feed little Simi, you know, you can make sure he has eaten, he has food to eat. Yet that money is going to all of these corporate bigwigs to pay their, you know, $150,000, $200,000 a year, you know, salaries. You know, when you really look behind the curtain. So, Yeah. Yeah. So um, it is what it is, man. But I think that new crime bill, I think that's going to address a lot of that. You know, I think, you know, especially with all that PPP fraud that happened during the pandemic, or during the pandemic. I'm going to say it. This video ain't monetized. I ain't monetized yet. I'm going to say pandemic. But during the pandemic, you had a lot of PPP fraud, different stuff like that. You know, people selling kids' social security number, tax fraud, stuff like that. I think the next crime bill is going to address a lot of white collar crime, a lot of passive crime like that. You know, we're going to see the hammer come down on a lot of people. Will they be putting people in prison? I don't know. I don't think so, because a lot of the prison reform stuff, and the push against locking up nonviolent criminals, I don't think you're going to see, because there's going to be a lot of people getting caught up in that. I don't think you're going to see a lot of incarceration for that stuff. So, you know, man, a woman that survived that church bombing in the '60s. Wow. Okay, she's a distant relative. Man, that to sit down and talk to someone um, like that, that went through something like that. That's, I think, all people who have an opportunity to talk to people who went through things like that should. Like, I'm in Florida. You know, I've been coming to Florida forever, and I know a lot of Cubans. I know a lot of old Cubans, and I talk with them, and they tell me about how Cuba was, and they explain how bad the communism was over there in Cuba and stuff. And it's interesting to get those points of view of people who actually lived through stuff like that. Because you know if you don't hear that, you really don't. You don't get those perspectives and know just how bad it was to the people that actually lived through it. It's the same thing with people who survived the Holocaust and different things like that. She married your brother's father. Okay, yeah. So, but getting back to talking to people who have been through things, like I actually met the son of the soldier who fell in a helicopter in the Battle of Mogadishu, who fell out of the Black Hawk. Doing that, that scene that was shown in the Black Hawk Down movie. I met his son and talked to his son, about it briefly, to get the son's perspective, what the son learned about the situation. And I've been able to talk to, I did 20 years in the military and was able to talk to a lot of people who went through a lot of combat scenarios in the Army, and it's easy to, it's you definitely get a good perspective on what they went through. And then, like for myself, you know, um, I was a part of the initial invasion of Iraq. I was part of that initial push, coming behind, the 82nd when at the Battle of Talil and Tikrit. I was there for that. I was also there at the Battle of Uday's Palace, and I'm gonna tell you this much, bro. You had to be there. You had to be there to really understand the chaos that was going on. It was crazy. you know, I was there for the Battle of Scania. I saw quite a bit. And when I was there back in uh, 2003. And then before that, what I saw in 2002 in Afghanistan, you know, it's something else, man. it definitely leaves an impression on you, you know. So, but getting back to this Rhoda girl, I don't think she'll be the face of any of her scams, at least for a while. You know, I think she's gonna fall back and try kind of let the attention die down. You know, for a while, maybe for a few months, it may be for a year or two. If she tries to do anything with her face, you know, being the face of it at all. But I think, you know, she's gonna lay low for a while. That being said, I don't think she's the only one involved in the scams that she's ran. If that is indeed the case, I think there are probably other people involved, and they'll probably switch it up and have other people do it. And I think the only thing that can be done is investigation. The social media detectives, I think they got to jump into action each and every time they see something like that. If it don't look right, it don't smell right, look into it, take a closer look, pay attention to details, you know, which that was a key factor in this situation with the brick girl, with the Rhoda brick girl, you know. Attention to detail, you know. If you take two and two and it equal three, something ain't right. Something ain't right. So, you know, but there'll be other scams. Just, you know, the funny thing is that she might turn into a Bandman Kevo. She might turn to a Bandman Kevo and get notoriety for being a scammer, you know. She might finesse it into being, you know, a social media personality for scamming and mess around and grab a bag on that. In this day and age, it's entirely possible. You know, you got people that, you know, they come on social media and act a plum fool and they get notoriety. So, man, it is what it is. So, I wouldn't be surprised, man. You know, that could very well happen. So, we'll see. We'll see. You know, um, if anything, um, I think she's gonna lay low. Like I said before, I think she's gonna be laying low. You know, for at least for a little while. You know, I seriously doubt she stopped scamming altogether because it's too lucrative for her. You know, it's too lucrative, and she's got too many people that want to believe the worst, and so um, and you got too many people that are too quick to believe anything, any claim a woman makes of being a damsel in distress. So, you know, it's too easy. So, I think she'll probably eventually do something again, or, like I said, she could be working with a group, and you know they'll put somebody else up there and run a similar scam. Don't be surprised. In fact, be on the lookout for that. You know, I will. I think with a lot of these situations now, I think I'm going to start really deep diving, or at least doing commentary on stuff like that. You know, yeah. Even after it was proven that she was a scammer, they kept giving her money. That's because you got people that they want to believe it. You know, their bias is locked in that direction. Yeah, these niggas ain't shit. You know, like I said, Oprah Winfrey became a billionaire off of it, basically. Tyler Perry became a billionaire off of it, you know. Mary J. Blige had a long career singing about it, you know. Yeah, I saw things that immediately made red flags pop up for me, you know. And the fact is that yeah, you do have black guys that do stuff. Like speaking of which, brother Polite, he apparently took a guilty plea to child abuse. He was lucky to um, avoid outright criminal charges as far as violating the girl, you know, um, in the other way. You know what I'm talking about. But he took a plea deal to child abuse, and you know, so he's hanging his hat on that, which you know, if that's anything to hang your hat on, you know, it's that for him. You know, I'm going to say this. You know, in the past, for guys who did stuff to kids in the prison system, because I worked in jail for over a decade at one point, and it used to be a time where if you were a guy and it was found out that you were locked up for a crime against kids, or even like tree jumping, stuff like that, you caught a pumpkin head, and a pumpkin head is, you know, when they go upside your head with soap socks, you know, or you know, you're caught even worse than that, because there is something worse than that, you know, when they hit you with they get you under the Fleece Johnson Act, you know. It used to be a time that was something that was entirely possible. I think nowadays, because you got so many people being locked up for stuff like that, I don't think that's the case as much as it used to be. So, will Will Polite, you know, catch the fade in prison? Possibly, you know. But then again, it's possible that nothing happens to him, that he has a good old time, you know. He might enjoy himself. You know, he's been locked up before, so he does know how to move in being incarcerated. So, you know, we'll see. I think that'll probably be my next stream, talking about the Polite situation. I might go a little bit further into that, but you know, let me get back to the subject of this Rhoda girl. Yeah, Cortez. You said you knew it was BS from the beginning. Her acting wasn't natural, and it didn't make sense. That's the same thing I was saying earlier. That, you know, in this day and age of the cell phone, we're in the smartphone era. Everybody's phone has a camera on it. You know, even if you got a flip phone, it's got a camera on it. You know, shout out to the brother Wix. You know, in his videos, he flip phone activates. Shout out Wix. Go check his channel out, man. That dude is highly entertaining. I like that guy. But he talks about cell phone, flip phone activate. You know, everybody's got a camera on their phone. But she was the only one with a video right after it happened. And there was other people outside. There was at least two other people, you know, and highly likely there was more people. So I think, you know, if the more people you have, the more the larger the likelihood that there's going to be other people recording videos. And then plus, you know, most commerce venues have video surveillance as well. And like I said earlier, the owner of the club checked the videos and said he didn't see anything like that, you know. So that was definitely a red flag. But I didn't even have to know that to see that because, you know, she didn't make a police report. Nobody said call the police. She didn't say call the police. You know, she didn't say call an ambulance or something, you know. So yeah, it was quite a few red flags. I think I ran off about 6 or 7 of them earlier. You know, it seemed real fishy, man. It was real janky. It was real janky, man. This mic stand is garbage. But yeah, it was real janky, man. It didn't seem like what usually happens. Like I said, I've seen a lot of situations like that. What up, Kill Deuce? So was the other guy involved too? That I don't know, man. Are you talking about the guy that made the video that said he was there and that he wouldn't have helped? If that's who you're referring to, if he was in on it or not, see that I don't know. He could have been on it, you know, but if he was on, if he was in on it, if anything, he would have corroborated her story, and he didn't. He spoke in direct opposition to the story, so I don't think he was involved with it. Some people accused him of clout chasing, which could be entirely possible. You know, that he was clout chasing because it was a hot event. It was a viral event. And so, you know, what better way to get attention to say, oh yeah, I was there. I was there, and this really didn't happen. It could be, you know, I don't know if he was involved, you know. So, yeah, I don't know if he was involved. I don't think it doesn't look like he was involved in that regard. Like I said, people were saying he was just clout chasing, which could have been true, or he could have been there and he just didn't do enough to prove that what he was saying was in fact true. You know, and especially if everybody's saying that it never happened, and you know, 2 other guys were interviewed, and they were saying that certain stuff happened that this guy didn't corroborate. Yeah, you know, he probably wasn't there. You know, he probably, like you say, Cortez, he probably was trolling. That could entirely be possible, you know. I don't see how we get him any clout or notoriety, though, to say that. If that was the case, and if that was indeed the case, I don't know what his thinking was behind that. I don't know what would make him say that, you know, to get the clout, you know. Thing is, there's enough doubt in what people have found out. There was enough there to doubt his story as well. So if he was there or not, that I don't know. What I do know is his story conflicted with hers and conflicted with what people found. So I'll say, you know, it's up in the air. It's up in the air to me. And, you know, that's how I see it, you know. What I would like to see is the video that the club owner had. I would like to see that video, and it'll probably pop up at some point. It's a good chance that it might pop up on social media, And if it does, it's going to tell a lot. It's going to confirm a lot. It may even tell even more than what has already been suspected and determined. So, you know, I do know if she would have called the police, that uh, they're going to take a look at that video from the club itself. They're going to take a look at that video and find out she disappeared. Her TikTok and Twitter are gone allegedly. She probably has some burner accounts. The accounts with her name and stuff are probably still up there, but she probably shut those down. But she probably got burner accounts that she's still able to kind of survey the landscape of social media. So. If she did disappear, I wonder where she went. Did she go back to, Somalia? Or did she go back to Africa? Did she go to Europe? What? Did she even leave the country? I think she's just laying low. I think she's laying low. And I think she's gonna lay low for a while. But I think she's gonna lay low on the scamming for a while, definitely. But I think she's definitely working with other people. Well, I'm not going to say definitely. I strongly feel that she has other people working. If it is indeed a scam, she has other people working with her. How many other people? I don't know. But she definitely has more than is more than just her. And if she's laying low, like I said earlier, they're going to make somebody else the face of those GoFundMe hustles, So, like I said, people got to be more vigilant and know what right looks like and pay attention to detail. And, man, you see something not right, check it out. You see something that look funny, check it out. Always give it the side eye, So. So, yeah. Her accounts are gone, but she's got some other burner accounts, because that's what a lot of these modern women do. They'll have their official accounts, then they'll have their voyeur sneak accounts, where they're watching people, watching, watching the audience, whatever other nonsense and nefarious stuff they be involved with. They have a burner account, So, I want to know if there would be any attempt to prosecute her. Probably not, because she's a black woman, and being that she's part of a protected class, and we know that the criminal justice system all over the place tends to be lenient on black women, because everybody's out to get them, quote unquote, So I don't think the criminal justice system wants to deal with that hand grenade. You look at what happened with what's that rapper, Tory Lanez. I understand why he got convicted. He got convicted on technicalities, but you can't tell me for 1 minute he tried to shoot that girl. He didn't try to shoot that girl. He got convicted because he was a felon that fired that gun. that's what they convicted him on. He shouldn't have been around a gun. They used that against him, and then he fired it. They used that against him. That's what got him convicted. Doing something to her is not what got him convicted, because there was enough proof that he didn't do what he was accused of doing. That it was the other girl. You know, the fight was between Megan Thee Stallion and the other woman involved. So, you know, but he got convicted on technicalities, you know, and that's a hard one for him to beat. So it is what it is. You know, I feel bad for the guy, but hey, you know, them's the breaks, you know. So I wonder if the have you guys seen any video from the sisterhood, the gynocracy, rolling back their criticisms and stuff like that? I haven't seen anything like that. And if there is, I'll probably come across it at some point within the next few days. But I haven't really seen a lot of, you know, now with that Carlisha Russell girl, there's a lot of people making videos. A lot of the sisterhood was very disappointed with it. You know, they still tried to throw Black American men under the bus, but a lot of them they were pretty salty at her. You know, so I wonder if there's going to be videos like that. You know, from her former supporters. You know. At this point, it seems like it's better to pay for it. You can really hang out with modern. Did you mean you can't really hang out with modern women anymore? Yeah. There's always a danger. There's always, you know, with anything you do, there's always a risk of something going wrong. I think the important thing is to be cautious, to be vigilant, and to, if something don't seem right, don't be afraid to disengage. You know, don't be afraid to say, I'm out of here. You know, you don't have to, you know, you don't have to be in a situation that don't seem right. You know, you with a woman and she's acting funny, don't be afraid to go home. Don't be afraid to pack up and go home. You know, don't be afraid to leave her ass in a restaurant or wherever you're at. You know, remove yourself in a situation because your freedom and your very life may depend on it. So yeah, you know, as far as paying for it, the problem with that is Carly Russell. She's missing too. Yeah. She gonna lay low for a while. You know, the problem is they'll never completely cut out social media. It's too addicting. The attention and stuff is too addicting to. It's too addicting to the American woman. You know, but getting back to paying for it, the problem with that is that commercialized things like that in a lot of places is still looked at as a criminal act. Not being the seller, but being the buyer is still, being the purchaser is still looked at as a criminal activity, and it's still easy to do so. And besides, who are usually the patrons of commercialized sex? It's usually men. So, and who usually has the money? Men. So it's easy, you know, you're going to subject somebody to the criminal justice system and get, you know, court fees and different stuff like that. It's you're more likely going to get that out of men than you are on women. So, you know, the thing about it is, with the advent of OnlyFans and, you know, back in the day, what was it? Craigslist, different things like that. You know, um, you got more women and you got more, you know, others. You know, the T types. You know, they're selling sex. So, you know, and these are protected groups. So, you know, um, I think there's going to the push for legalization will continue, at least on their part. At least the push for decriminalization is going to definitely continue. You know, um, and so, you know, but at the same time, men will still be subjected to the criminal justice system, fines, fees, and incarceration. You know, so it is what it is. You know, so yeah, yeah. You know, Carly Russell, um, she wasn't the only one of recent time, and there's been some others that have, you know, um, lied and said stuff that happened to them for attention, and you know, um, kind of gets swept up under the rug. Of course, you know, and the you know the Alphabet Soup gang as well. You know, Jesse Smollett being the most infamous among that group of recent times. You know, they're gonna, you know, the criminal justice system is going to make a way out, particularly the politicians. Make they're going to give these people as soft a landing as possible. So, you know, you be a heterosexual man and do it, and watch what happened to you. They gonna put you. They gonna bury you up under the jail. You know, they gonna bury you up under the jail. They gonna find charges. You gonna get them Trump numbers on them charges, man. They gonna hit you with 78 charges off one incident. You know. Yeah, yeah, Cortez. They've been taking L's, man, all year, man. It's been so much crazy stuff, man. You know, it's, I kill dudes. Hey, man, enjoy yourself, man. Get some rest. Go be great. I'll talk to you next time, bro. Take it easy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna shut this. I think I'm gonna shut this one down too myself. Um, you know, thank everybody for coming, stopping by. Thanks, Kill Dudes. Thank my brother Cortez Smith for moderating and you know, helping push the conversation along. I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna get on here again probably tomorrow, and you know, we're gonna talk about something. Other than that, man, you guys, you know, stay safe, be great, get your money, you know, and see you on the next one. This is Mr. Royce of Royce Media. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends. You know, even if you don't like me, tell them I can't stand that MF. Go see what he's talking about so you can hate him too. You know. All right, y'all take it easy. I'm out.